Hey there, my name is James Austin, and over the summer I've been reading the book Freakonomics by Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner. Throughout the reading, I realized that there were a couple things that kept popping up consistently throughout the book, and those two things were causation and correlation. And many people think that they're the same thing, but they really aren't. First, in order to understand this, you need to know what each one is, so you could understand what the book's trying to talk about. First, correlation. Correlation is a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. And causation would be the action of causing something. That's the definition of correlation and causation. They are both very similar because they have to relate with one another, but I'll explain that a little bit further in the video. But throughout my research, according to a man named Ben Yoskowitz, if that's how you pronounce his name, he's a founding partner at Highland Beta. He says that not only in the business world, but everywhere, correlation helps you predict the future because it gives you an indication of what's going to happen, and causation allows you to change the future, end quote. That could be very true. That could be very true at times. The reason that would be very true most of the time would be because causation, which is the action to cause something, would affect your correlation, because a correlation is a mutual relationship between two or more things. For example, if you look at two correlations, right? Let's say diseases and smells, right? When you think of a disease, you don't normally think of that as a good smell, do you? I mean, I wouldn't, but diseases normally, let's say if you have, I don't know, gingivitis, that doesn't smell good at all because it's basically your mouth rotting. So disease would be a correlation with bad smells, because when you think of a disease, you would automatically assume, a lot of the time you would think that would smell bad, such as gingivitis, like I said. And so what causes that would be germs. So germs which would be like up here on the ladder, would branch down, and germs would both cause bad smells and diseases. And diseases and bad smells would both be correlated with each other. So the causation would be germs connected to the two correlations, bad smells and diseases. In the book, Freakonomics, on pages 8 and 9, Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner like to introduce this as variables. So they use the variables x, y, and z. So they say on those pages that, quoting the book, it's possible that x can cause y, and it's also possible that y can cause x, and it may be that y and x are both being caused by some other factor, z. Causation and correlation aren't always easy for people to understand, really, because another funny example that was in the book that I really liked was the example with the Tsar in Russia, who learned that the most disease-riddled provinces in his empire were also the ones with the most doctors. So he automatically assumed, oh, just because there's a lot of disease in this one area, there's also a lot of doctors there. So in order to get rid of the disease, the smart Tsar thought that he should have all the doctors shot, which was not a good idea, because, well, the doctors were there to help the people with the diseases to get better, but the Tsar didn't understand that. He simply mixed up his two correlations. So diseases and doctors are correlated, but doctors help the disease from spreading or continuing to travel from person to person. Honestly, correlations and causations are everywhere. You just need to know how to link them correctly to each other so that you wouldn't end up like the doctors in Russia, because their leader had unfortunately looked at his correlations incorrectly. So that's a little bit of an extreme example. You're not going to end up dead if you don't know your correlations and causations, but you just need to know how to understand them. And this book really did help me over the summer solve some easy problems that I've had over the course of the past couple months. So I hope I helped you understand the difference between causation and correlation. Thanks for watching.